Dare to be grateful. How gratitude changes everything. Do you often find yourself focusing on what you don't have rather than appreciating what you do have? It's a common mindset, but one that can have a negative impact on our lives. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle and forget to pause and be grateful for the blessings in our lives. But what if I told you that gratitude has the power to change everything? In the story, Gratitude Changes Everything, we are introduced to two young men named Ethan and Lucas. Two friends were eager to return home after working in a big city for 3 long years. However, their journey home was not without its challenges. As they traveled through a forest, their carriage driver refused to take them any further. This meant they had to walk on foot from the border. To make matters worse, they encountered hunter traps along the way and had to navigate their way through them carefully. Exhausted and thirsty, they finally reached a river, only to find that the bridge had been washed away by heavy rains. With no other option, they decided to swim across. Despite the dangerous currents, they made it to the other side but lost their water bottle in the process. As they continued their journey through the forest, they were met with heavy rain, leaving them drenched and in need of shelter. Thankfully, they stumbled upon a small hut in the middle of the forest and took refuge there. But even in this moment, Lucas couldn't help but complain about their misfortunes. He grumbled about how terrible their journey had been and how they might not even reach home that night. When the rain stopped, they continued walking and eventually reached a giant shady tree. They sat down under it to rest and eat their last bit of food before continuing their journey. It was then that Lucas once again complained about the tree, saying it was useless because it had no fruit. But Ethan saw things differently. He pointed out that while the tree may not have fruit, its shade was a blessing in the scorching heat. And just as he said this, a voice came from the tree itself, teaching them an invaluable lesson. The tree explained that even though it had no fruit, it served a greater purpose by providing shelter for creatures and protecting the soil. It reminded them to look beyond what is missing and appreciate what they already have. This story beautifully illustrates how gratitude can change our perspective and make us see the world in a whole new light. It's easy to get caught up in what we lack, but what if we shifted our focus to what we do have? Gratitude doesn't change our situation, but it changes how we see it. It can turn our hardships into blessings and make us realize just how fortunate we are. The power of gratitude is backed by science as well. Numerous studies have shown that practicing gratitude can have a positive impact on our mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. People who regularly practice gratitude tend to have lower levels of stress and depression and higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. So how can we cultivate a grateful mindset? It starts with acknowledging and appreciating even the smallest things in our lives. It could be as simple as being grateful for a warm breakfast, a roof over our heads, or the presence of loved ones. Taking time each day to write down or think about what we are grateful for can also help us develop a habit of gratitude. Gratitude also allows us to live in the present moment. Often, we are so focused on the future or dwelling on the past that we forget to enjoy the present. By being grateful for what we have now, we can learn to appreciate and make the most of every moment. Additionally, expressing gratitude towards others can also have a positive impact on our relationships. It shows that we value and appreciate the people in our lives, strengthening our bonds with them. And when we are grateful, it's natural for us to want to give back and help others, creating a ripple effect of kindness and gratitude. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages of what we lack, it can be challenging to shift our mindset towards gratitude. But by daring to be grateful, we can change our lives for the better. So the next time you catch yourself focusing on what's missing, remember the lesson from the great tree in the forest. There is always something to be grateful for.